David Gagne is here and he's going to explain how the system operates for y'all. Okay? Have fun.
Thank you. Okay, any questions? So I'm David from Pacific Solar Products, and we worked with several great companies here to design and install this system. We have Eric standing over here in the blue shirt. He is from American West Windmill and Solar Company. They are the master distributor of the Lorentz products for the United States, and we are the Hawaii distributor, so we deal on all lines. But we're based here in, actually up in Shipman in Keau, so we're local. And when the board originally approached us, they asked if we could do something about the operating costs of their pool pump system. It was, they were spending $1,000 or more per month to operate their old pool pump, and their pump was using about 70 to 75 kilowatt hours a day. And I like details, so if I get too technical, ask questions or block me out or something. But basically their old pump, which was only running about 8 hours a day, was using the same amount of electricity as 3 or 4 average size households here in Hawaii. So that one motor was using what 3 or 4 families use in a 24-hour period. They were using in 8 hours. And part of that is because of the technology. It was, you know, it's an old AC powered 3-phase motor that was not very efficient, so it required a lot of electricity to move water. And what we did is we were able to come in and do the nation's first solar-only pool pumping system using the Lorentz pumps. We replaced the 10 horsepower motor with 3 2-horsepower pumps, just to give you an idea of the gain in efficiency. So using 6 horsepower efficiently, we were able to do what they were doing with the 10 horsepower motor. And what you see here is the PV array that is powering these pumps. So as soon as the sun comes up in the morning, the pumps will start out and they'll pump all day long until the evening time when the sun goes down. And thanks to Tyson from Okahara and Associates, who's standing back here, he was able to help us design a system that would allow us to replicate what was already in place, meaning we're getting at least the same amount, you know, at least an equal amount of filtration compared to the old system. And this right here costs nothing to operate. There's no electrical costs now. In fact, I was asking Kathy in the office and Rose, asking them for the latest Helco bill so we could show everyone how terrific the system is. But Helco never sent them a bill because they couldn't believe that the numbers that they received from their meter reader were correct. What happened was, I don't know if I can tell numbers, but I think since, yeah, you know, their old bill, they were paying approximately $1,200 a month or so, or $1,300 a month to run this bathhouse here where the pump is located, the pump system is located, and the office. And when we originally looked at the system, we had calculated that they were spending at least $1,000 on their pool pump. And so what Helco saw is forever at $1,300 a month, and then it went down to $145. So they didn't generate the bill, and so somebody from the office here, Rose or Kathy, called and said, "Where's our bill?" And they said, "You know, there's something wrong." And I think the answer was no, there's something right. So anyhow, it looks like we're realizing what we had anticipated and maybe even a little bit more. So here we are. We have the sun filtering that pool for us, and they will never have to pay Helco again to operate an inefficient pump.
Yeah.
Thank you. And if anyone has any specific technical questions or just want to talk to me, come on up and be happy to chat. Yes, they are. The Lorentz pumps are variable speed DC motors. Actually, it's EC. And I don't know, Eric, maybe I could get you up here to explain a little bit more.
No, the Lorentz are a variable speed motor, and the reason that they have to be is because the power varies throughout the day. So just like the clouds are going overhead right now, that reduces the power that's coming from the panels. And when that happens, that reduces the speed of the motor. So this is sized to run in about 40% sunlight, so that this, even when it is overcast, it's still running full power. So, but as the sun rises and falls, the speed of the motor just increases, and it's called EC, electronically commutated is what the term is. So it allows the motors to run at 94% efficiency. So which a standard three-phase motor typically would run maybe in the 83% efficiency range new out of the box. So we're around 94, and that's what allows the motors to run so cool and last so long. The other biggest advantage is that you know, when you guys have bad power here, you have brownouts, low voltage, phase imbalance, things like that. That is very detrimental to a three-phase AC powered motor. And so since we're off the grid now, we're providing our own power plant. We will never have bad power at that motor again. So prior to this, David had told me that these guys were rewinding a motor at least one time per year on the old pumps. And so we'll eliminate that cost as well, along with the electrical cost. So. Any other questions? How many amps? Well, right now, since we're running 16 panels per pump, each one of these panels roughly puts off about 7 amps of power. However, we only have, we have 4 sets of 4. So we have about 28 amps available to each pump, if it pulled that much. But we're gonna pull a maximum right around 13 to 15 amps. So.
And that's variable.
That is variable, depending on how much power we're producing here.
And does your PLC board be the one that regulates that in regards to your pump?
That's correct. We have maximum power point tracking is what it's called, and that's what adjusts the amperage and the voltage to get the peak performance out of the solar panels. It's pretty safe to say that we have a lot of pumps that have been in operation since 2003, and that's 9 years now. Some of those pumps have made it 9 years. So it's really easy to figure anywhere between 7 and 12 years, just depending on the conditions and how much usage, but it's a very good lifespan, and that's mainly due to the efficient motor. When you have an inefficient motor, that builds heat inside the motor, and that heat breaks down the windings of that motor eventually. And so that's why, you know, with 94% efficient, I believe David was telling me that they shot thermal images of the pumps that were in here, and they were 180 degrees with the motor. And they shot thermal images of our pumps, and they're 106 degrees, and that's just due to motor efficiency. There actually is a lot of ECM motors that are coming out on the market, not only in solar pumps, but in other products as well.
That was specified by the engineer who designed the racking system for us.
That's so there's absolutely no deflection, distortion, movement, or
No, it has to do with just wind uplift, and I think their safety factor is probably a little on the high side.
I was wondering about what code that we got to do all that in my yard.
Well, it's not that much, no, not that much. Because,
I mean, I could build a house on all that.
oh, you can build a skyscraper, but because this is a commercial project, you know, public swimming pool, we felt comfortable going with something that was a little over-designed.
We do ground mounts, pole mounts, and roof mounts. It just depends on your house. And, you know, a typical residential size system would be 4 of these solar panels. And so this is just a very large pool.
What specific requirements like the Department of Health We'll have to ask Eileen for exact numbers. I mean, my calculations are a little different than hers because I know what the system costs roughly, but there were other, they had to bring their pool up to code, which would have been a cost that they would have had to bear anyway at some point. I think Eileen's kind of lumped everything in as one project. But this being a homeowners association, they can't take advantage of any of the state and federal income tax credits. And if I were to look at just the solar portion and the pumps and the replumbing and filters and everything, it would be about a 6-year break-even time. I think they calculate a little bit longer because they have to change drain covers and put a fence around here.
Right, there was a lot of things that added costs since it's a community pool. So typically on a residential system here in Hawaii, we run anywhere between, with the tax credits, anywhere between
2 to 4 years.
2 to 4 year return on investment. So. Zero.
So there's no
solar direct.
Yeah, that's a good question. A lot of people are wondering where we're storing energy. The beauty of this system is we don't store anything. When the sun comes up, it generates electricity through these panels, and the pumps are on. When it goes down, it's done. This application, we don't have it set up to do that.
It is possible. It is possible to do it with storage or from backup from the grid, but it's not necessary to run the pool at night since nobody's in the pool swimming at night.
There are no lights in this park. They've never opened their pool at night.
We're using almost all the power that these panels are producing. So if we diverted any power here, it would take away from the power the pumps are using. Sure can. Now we have, all the way from, the smallest pump can do maybe a gallon and a half a minute to as much as 1,300 gallons per minute. So it can cover a wide range.